nothing ended on a bright note.
Investigators have found what they believe is a street value of $1.5 million in drugs.
Selling parents' house to pay off debt from illegal substances, losing consciousness when serving in the military for overdosing, submitting hair from legs and even private parts just for clearing his name of the drug allegations. It happened to your beloved idol. For sure, because these 5 names are widely famous. Trust me, the stories of these idols being involved in using illegal substances unfold like layers of an onion, and at one point, I actually shed tears because of one sharing how struggling and desperate he was when resorting to additives. So let's see how the illegal substances ruin the lives of these idols, but at the same time, ask yourself if you were them, would you do differently? Okay, let's chat about G-Dragon's latest headline grabber. It's like the internet just exploded on October 25 with news about him supposedly getting caught up in allegations about illegal substances. But G-Dragon and his legal team, cool as cucumbers, are battling back at the drama. They're making it clear. They say the drug story is pure fiction. GD's lawyer revealed that the police has never had a warrant to test his hair, whether it was on his head or his body. It was GD that volunteered to voluntarily submit his urine, hair, nails, and toenails for testing, and expressed readiness to provide his mobile phone if necessary. He even offered up his leg hair for testing. Yeah, you heard that right, leg hair. If that's not saying, "I've got nothing to hide," I don't know what is. Yet, in return for his good intention, the police lied and tried to frame him as a criminal. Most recently, GD's lawyer has called out the police for a big oopsie. They wrongly accused GD of trying to mess up evidence by changing his hair color. But guess what? The man hasn't even dyed his hair in a year and a half, so that story's not adding up. But it's not just the police getting the side eye here. Some media outlets who rushed to report these claims had to backtrack big time. They tweaked their articles when it became clear that the evidence against GD was thinner than a sheet of rice paper. It's like they're playing a game of publish first, ask questions later, which is definitely not cool. So, after all of this, GD's lawyer and his team said they would let things slide, but next time, they are ready to take anyone to court if they keep spreading rumors without checking the facts. This isn't G-Dragon's first brush with scandal, but if history tells us anything, he's hoping to come out of this unscathed. Just like in 2011, with the investigation ongoing, all eyes are on how this will unfold. And here's a little extra gossip. There was this rumor flying around that a member of a super famous girl group was mixed up in a drug scandal. The rumor was all over the internet and fans were flipping out trying to guess who it could be. But guess what? The person who started the rumor came back and said they were just messing around. The police even had to step in and say there were no other celebs involved in the scandal they were investigating. So, just like that, the rumor was busted and everyone had to chill out. Throwing this story here, I want you to see how crazy things can get online, and so just don't believe everything you read at face value. It's a wild world out there on the internet, especially when it comes to K-pop stars and the rumors that follow them. And hey, have you followed and subscribed to me? You know, a click on that red button would really motivate me for more debunking videos like this. So, picture this. T.O.P, in the middle of his military service, found unconscious and got rushed to the hospital for overdosing. Can you believe how a top idol being on duty for his military service could still overdose on illegal additives? Me neither. But if we rewind just a bit, the signs were there. The day before the hospital dash, T.O.P had been in the headlines for smoking illegal substances. He was even moved out of the Gangnam police station where he'd been serving because of these allegations. When he collapsed, he was actually at a different station. So, how did T.O.P get here? First, T.O.P.'s stylist friend got busted in Japan for being involved in the drug allegation in March 2016. This made the police start looking at T.O.P., thinking he might be part of this too. At first, they didn't have much to go on, but they kept digging. For a moment, the case seems to hang by a thread. But then the investigation into Han Seo-hee, an ex-YG trainee who was just 21 back then, turned up the heat and pointed right at T.O.P. Later, they find out that T.O.P. and Han Seo-hee were using these substances together. T.O.P. first tried to say it was all a misunderstanding, that he was just vaping. But when the evidence was too strong to ignore, he admitted what had really happened. The court didn't go easy on him, handing down a 10-month suspended sentence. This meant probation, and any slip-ups could land him in prison. During this tumultuous time, T.O.P. got himself into the overdosing situation I have talked about in the very beginning, which he fortunately recovered from. FYI, Park Yoo Chun was once under SM Entertainment, later decided to fight till the last breath to part ways with SM and debut with JYJ, due to the alleged labor contract. But all of that for what? Sadly, it was for his destroying his own fame due to smoking illegal substances. And guess who he was with? His ex-fiancée, Hwang Hana, a treble sneeze from Namyang Dairy. The police didn't waste any time. They had the warrant to search Yoo Chun's house right after they talked to him. The plot kept thickening since then. Hwang Hana, who was already in hot water herself, admitted to using the substance with Yoo Chun. The police even caught him on camera at a bank doing what they believed was sending money to a dealer, and then picking up the substance. Yoo Chun, however, mentioned he was just moving money on Hwang's behalf and denied using any additives. He went public, holding a press conference to deny the charges, hoping to clear the air. But despite his efforts, his agency cut ties with him, which often speaks louder than words in the entertainment industry. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, his ex-manager, who'd been his ride or die since the scandals started popping, flipped the script. This guy went from Team Yoo Chun to Team Tell All, airing out all the dirty things Yoo Chun did, including sensually abusing women as what he was accused of in 2017, and even threatened to show the world who Park really is. The ex-manager later teamed up with the alleged victims, saying he's going to help them out with their legal battles. With heaps of evidence, the result was predetermined despite his denial. Park Yoo Chun tested positive for meth. That's a complete 180 if I've ever seen one. So there's Park Yoo Chun for you. Once a K-pop darling, then caught up in a whirlwind that got his name straight down the mud. Now, it is rumored that he is dating, and surprisingly, this girl also has pretty high connections. The daughter of Thailand's Deputy Prime Minister. No one has the full scoop on her, but word on the street is that she's got her own wealth, runs several businesses, including a cosmetics brand where Yoo Chun himself has been modeling. Some said she's been Yoo Chun's rock, especially when he was wrestling with legal troubles with his management company, Re Cielo. And they're pretty serious, even hinting at wedding bells in the future. Still, nothing is confirmed, but one thing for sure, his life is a roller coaster. Psy, the guy who brought us Gangnam Style, found himself in an allegation related to illegal substances, as well as prostitution, back in 2019. He was dragged into a mess with YG Entertainment when the police were investigating Young Hyun-suk to figure out if YG was offering illegal services to some wealthy investors. This wasn't Psy's first time dealing with controversy. Back in 2001, he was arrested for the illegal consumption of marijuana, which he later opened up about in a broadcast of SBS Healing Camp. After the scandal broke, he took a 6-month break from the limelight, coinciding with the 2002 World Cup fever in South Korea. He made a successful comeback with the song Champion after that hiatus. And because of this stain, when the 2019 allegation broke out, he was heavily criticized. Luckily, he was soon cleared out of all accusations. Psy did admit he was the one who introduced these investors to YG's boss, but he made it clear he had nothing to do with any illegal activities. Still, having his name mentioned in such a sensitive topic was enough to make waves in the media and get public's attention. Let's take a moment for Taehyun, who you might remember from Winner. He got real with everyone on a TV show called In-Depth 60 Minutes, sharing his tough journey with addiction that started with prescription pills and slid into using illegal stuff due to the stress of being a star. It all started when Jae from the used-to-be legendary show Heart Signal 3 and his girlfriend at the time posted a selfie with Taehyun, hinting that he had been abusive and had used meth. She even mentioned finding his syringe in her room and in his company's cabinet. However, she took a 180-degree change the next day. Jae deleted her post and shared an apology explaining that her judgment wasn't true and saying her head was all mixed up from taking too much medication. Taehyun also took to Instagram to apologize, regretting the stir caused by what he described as a personal dispute. But the plot had already thickened. But guess what? The internet had already seen her claims and the police got involved. They dug deep and Taehyun owned up to buying meth online. He used it with Saw in August and then on his own in December. Now, here's a question for you. What would you do to rebuild your life after a public scandal like Taehyun's? Because Taehyun is serious about quitting and Saw pitched in with the police work, they didn't end up in jail. But Taehyun's facing the music in a different way. He's drowning in debt, so much that he's had to sell almost everything, even family homes. He's even considering working at a restaurant to make ends meet. Plus, he's getting help at a rehab place to kick the habit for good. Notice how 90% of the idols mentioned are from YG Entertainment? As I've done some research, I think this is why Baby Monster might be the company's last hope. And you can have the answer here. Also, if you're still curious which other idols ruined their image, you can check this out.